Hi guys, this is Rohan again, and like I mentioned in the last video, in this video we're going to be talking about how we can make this a bit more clean and separate it into more files just so it's easier to read, because this is our main method of our Swift project, and the computer executes starting here, and then our main method calls methods everywhere else, but what we put in our main is actually what executes. So what we have here is right now all our code that's executing is all in one file. But instead we want to separate it into a different file, and one of the reasons why we want to do that is because this is just called main.swift. It's kind of boring, and we want to make sure that when the user is, or when some other programmer is reading our code in our main, that they know that it's about a space adventure and they know what's actually happening in various sections. And if you noticed, we kind of have like three sections where we introduce them, we ask them what their name is, and then we talk about going to a different planet. So we're going to be doing that later, is that we want to split those up. But for now, we want to make all this code somewhere. And what we want to put it in a class so we can make our adventures, because what a class is in Swift and almost every other programming language is class is kind of like a recipe for an object, and an object is created from a class. So a class kind of, we might have like a class named dog, and then a dog can woof, and a dog has maybe a color. So then there might be a variable, like we mentioned, like we have here, a variable, and there might be a variable on that class, so that every time you make a dog, you make it with its color, and you make it with, and then it has its ability to woof or bark. So you have that in your class too, in your dog class. But the class we want to make first for this project is a space adventure. So to make a new file, which you generally put one file in one class in one file. So to make a new file, you hit Command N, and we want to select Swift file because we're working with Swift. And make sure down here your group Space Adventure, which is Xcode's mini folders, yellow folders are groups, and we're adding it to our target Space Adventure, this project we have, and we want to name it Space Adventure, because this is our Swift file called Space Adventure. And what we put in here is actually what we want to put in here is our class definition, because yeah, so we want to make a class. So to make a class in Swift, you use the word class, and then you have the name of the class. And in our case, the name doesn't actually have to match the name of the file. It's just convention, and that's what is best when you're programming, to make sure you follow a convention so that when other people are programming with you, you all follow the same sort of dialect, kind of, because we're programming in the Swift language, we want to follow the same dialect. So we're not like, in random, we want to be consistent. So we just have this empty class right now, but to make an object of our class, what you just do is we can just put it here for now in our main. We can say we can make our variable, let's call it adventure, and then and so this is creating a space adventure object, because we define the space adventure class here, and it's creating a variable of that type, that class type, space adventure, and it's making an object variable. This is called instantiating that class. We're instantiating it and creating an instance of that class called adventure. And then with adventure, we can call stuff on it, like that has like our dog, we can say dog.woof. Just like we have readline here, which is a method on Swift. If we have a method on our adventure, we can call it. So the first thing, so what you want to do when you have an adventure, you want to start your adventure. So you have your adventure here. So let's say adventure.start. And this is a method call. So because in this case, start would be our method name. And we have these parentheses just like we have before. We're going to explain what those are. And you're calling it on your adventure object, so you say adventure.start. And this is giving us an error right now, and we're going to figure out why, because it's actually, because we haven't made this method yet, it's just empty right now. And we're going to be making this in the next video, but in this video, what you should take away is what a class is, and then how it can be used to organize our code better. In the next video, we're going to put all this code in the Space Adventure class, and we're going to organize it a bit better.